of Ghana via partner stations including Radio Max in Takrade, ATL FM in Cape Coast, Volta Premier Hall, Radio Justice Tamale Jakpa FM Gwipe, KTU Radio Koforidua Sky in Sunyani, Dreams FM Bolgatanga, Radio Max Takrade. Coming up this afternoon, transport threaten a 30% increase in fares as petrol hits 14 cities, with diesel approaching 18 cities at some fuel stations.
We are still waiting for them to do something as quick as they can. Else we cannot do anything than to also come up with an improvement of fares.
Well, we have details plus what can a Tema oil refinery do to ease the pressure on fuel prices.
Let there be a legislative instrument, as it is in Nigeria, as it is in Malaysia, as it is in Indonesia, where they have a domestic market obligation.
Also this afternoon, aggrieved workers of Valco hit the streets of Tema to protest against what they describe as plans to sell the state-owned aluminium smelter.
For whatever reason, you can only guess that perhaps it is to serve a few individuals.
Also this afternoon, a year after Joy News exposed the drug getters of Tinker Island and Colombia, a follow-up investigation reveals Ghana's drug crisis is worsening, with illicit substances spreading beyond the ghettos into schools, university campuses, and even everyday food and drinks consumed by young people.
They're infused. You have the edibles, you have the toffee, you have the sobolu. Basically what you want to infuse it with. So like adding weed to something. And most guys, they say when they get high, that's when like they're able to like function well. That's how they're able to like steady, write their song, write their music, like do what they want to do.
And also it's time of that year again. It's the National Science and Maths Quiz Regional Qualifiers, and this afternoon, Senior High School pulls off a stunning upset in Contest 6 of the Central Regional Qualifiers, beating Winneba Secondary School to secure only their second ever appearance at the championships. With more of these and more with me, Maame, Nyamekye, Thompson. This is Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible. Now let's get into the details. Transport operators are threatening a 30% increase in fares after what they describe as government's failure to respond to rising cost of fuel. The union says rising fuel prices, coupled with the cost of spare parts and maintenance, are driving drivers so badly that some reportedly spend almost the entire daily earnings on fuel. Now, Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, Samuel Amo, says it is now seeking an urgent meeting with the Transport Ministry, but warns that if nothing changes, a fare increase may be unavoidable.
Last week, we were proposing that the government should do something about the petroleum products. You know, we don't normally rely on only petroleum products. We also consider the spare parts, the lubricants, and the taxes. As for the spare parts, we have been talking about it. The dealers don't want to reduce it, so we are not even talking about it again. But with the fuel prices, they gave us a promise that they will make sure that it will go down, and this is what we are seeing now. So last week we came out with a proposal that we are giving the government 3 days ultimatum that they should, do something about the petroleum product. Else, we will also come up with 30% fare increment, of which, the 3 weeks that we gave the government, ended last Saturday. We are still waiting for them to do something as quick as they can. Else, we cannot do anything than to also come up with an increment of fares. The 3 days that we gave the government, ended last Saturday. Today, as I'm speaking to you, we've not heard anything from them, but the leadership is moving to, see the transport ministries to find out from them what is really the problem.
Well, the decision to supply Tema Oil Refinery with crude from Ghana's Jubilee field has been met with some criticism. The Institute for Energy Security argues that Ghana needs a permanent policy requiring a portion of locally produced crude to be supplied to Tema Oil Refinery. Prosper Smith Wahine is senior researcher, Institute for Energy Studies.
But in the long term, as you are saying, it took decades for us to get to be at this position. So we don't expect 3 million barrels of crude delivered to tow and refine to automatically change the entire dynamics. We will have to, that is what IES called. If you realize, IES, we take call, and we are making that call insistently, that we need to have a legislative instrument that will ensure the sustainability of what the Jubilee Sweet crude oil delivered to toll should be. It shouldn't be that when it is politically convenient that the president will take that action or the sector will take that action. We saw the first term of President Mahama in 2016 delivering such crude to toll, but then it just ceased. It didn't happen again. And we revert back, all those gains that were made at that time was eroded. Today the president has done same, but as to whether that is just by the whims of his power, that is also a question that we need to interrogate further, and that is why IES is calling that let there be a legislative instrument, as it is in Nigeria, as it is in Malaysia, as it is in Indonesia, where they have a domestic market obligation, which will mean that anytime Exploko is lifting fuel or lifting their crude, they have a percentage of it. It could be that the percentage will be a case-by-case basis or period-by-period basis. It may not necessarily be fixed. And that is go a long way to help us.
And we have that Prosper Smith Mwahine, he's senior researcher, Institute for Energy Studies, speaking to me on Joy News Desk earlier today. Well, let's speak to Executive Director for the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, Duncan Amwa, on this. Grateful for your time, Duncan, for joining us on the Midday News. Are the current prices really justified by the current developments on the international market?
Maame, the truth is that you cannot get it any cheaper at this time anywhere. Even in the United States, fuel prices that declined to around $2 a liter have gone back to $4. So what you're seeing here is a stark reflection of the kind of prices you are seeing globally. And I think that the only bit Ghana can do will be to look at its own internal resources and then how to maximize whatever benefits to consumers. The prices are fair. Per the numbers we have in-house, these are not prices coming from people's imaginations. Plat prices, if you talk of the trading platforms where petrol, diesel globally and ATK is traded, prices have really gone up, and I'll not be surprised it does go up again, even in the course of this week.
So, Duncan, we know that Tor is now refining crude. Do we still allow the international market to dictate domestic prices when Tor is now back fully?
Well, Maame, we had some engagement with the Tema Oil Refinery just last week. One of the things that we were seeking to understand is whether government indeed was supplying crude with a strategy in mind that says that we are giving you probably at a certain minus, which is what you call the Brent minus or WTI minus. But it looks as though the crude that has been supplied to Tor, to Central, were strictly commercial. Which means that whatever prices you get on the international market or whatever prices that has been locked in is what the refineries would have to pay for. Again, it is also dollar indexed. And I think that players like GMPC would need to look at this again. The Energy Ministry would need to look at this again to ensure that.
All right, grateful for your time, and that was Duncan Amwa with COPEC speaking to us on current fuel prices. Moving on. And these are aggrieved members of the local workers' union of the Volta Aluminium Company, Valco, joined by their mother union, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, ICU, protesting through the streets of Tema against what they describe as plans to sell the state-owned aluminium smelter. The workers insist such a move would undermine Ghana's industrial ambitions, threaten jobs and jeopardize the future of one of the country's strategic assets. The General Secretary of the ICU, Morgan Ayawinning, says discussions about a possible sale of Valco have persisted for years. He maintains that disposing of the company will not be in the best interest of the workers of Ghana.
Precisely, GIADEC, led by Mr. Jumasi Ankra, for whatever reasons, you can only guess that perhaps it is to serve a few individual interests, and that is parochial indeed. We are looking at the risk involved, the potentiality of this resulting to job losses, and Ghana will be deprived of the ownership of this great asset of ours. So we want government to know and to take us seriously, because we began this discourse long time ago, and it appears nobody is listening to us. No one is giving us a listening ear. And you know, in Ghana and for that matter in Africa, if you don't drum home and let people see you, your issues, your concerns will not be addressed. So we are not up to anything. We are not up in arms to attack anybody. We are not up in arms to say people should not do their work.
And you heard there Morgan Ayawinning, his General Secretary of the ICU. Well, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, GIADEC, Randolph Chumesi Ankra, has repeatedly dismissed claims that government intends to sell Valco. Instead, he says government is pursuing a co-ownership arrangement with a private sector partner to revive the struggling smelter. According to him, discussions are underway with potential investors to inject about $750 million into Valco to modernize its operations and restore the company to profitability. Away from that, a year after Joy News exposed the thriving drug ghettos of Tinker Island and Colombia, we return to uncover a disturbing new reality. The drugs are no longer confined to the ghettos. They are finding their way into schools, university campuses, and even everyday food and drinks consumed by young people. Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak says government is preparing a cabinet memorandum that could make drug screening a prerequisite for recruitment as authorities confront what they describe as a rapidly evolving drug crisis. In Deadly Doses 2, Ghana's growing drug crisis, Nana Boakye Yadom investigates how traffickers are changing tactics, why children are becoming addicted at younger ages, and whether Ghana's response is keeping pace with an evolving national threat. Here's Beyond Deadly Doses, Ghana's growing drug crisis.
In 2025, Joy News brought cameras into Tinker Island and Colombia, two of the notorious drug ghettos in the Ashanti region. We documented lives consumed by addiction. Authorities promised tougher enforcement. Communities hoped the crackdown would slow the trade. A year later, we returned expecting to measure progress. Instead, we uncovered a crisis that has become far more difficult to confront.
They're infused. You have the edibles, you have the toffee, you have the sobolu. Basically, what you want to infuse it with. So, like adding weed to something. And most guys, they say when they get high, that's when like they're able to like function well. That's how they're able to like steady, write their song, write their music, like do what they want to do.
41% of our tertiary students are aware of active use of drugs on their campuses.
Parents are no longer only looking for wraps, pills, or smell of marijuana. They are now confronted with products that resemble everyday food.
Yeah, because they use it to cook, to bake. You go and eat any woman's chateau and you are not sure. Be careful. It may be mixed with all sorts of weed or other substances.
A year ago, Colombia stood as one of the starkest symbols of Ghana's drug crisis. It was here the Joy News documented an abandoned settlement transformed into a marketplace for narcotics.
I am one type I take in much. I can take in like 70 boosters a day. I get high, I get to forget many things. I'm a mother, yeah? And then as a mother, depression is somehow part of us, you get it. So if you're a mother and you're taking this, it takes you far.
Rebecca is 25 years old. She's also a mother of two. Inside Colombia, many know her simply as Bibi. Behind the addiction is a woman who still speaks about her children, still hopes to leave this place, and still recognizes everything she has lost.
When we say about time, there be a dream than sooner there. So it starts from there. A bit clear off every thought like Bibi how be a.
Tinker Island presents a similar picture.
Very soon, we may have to declare serious public concern for the rate at which our young persons are going to drugs.
We need to be called rehab now, 6 months, 3 months. I don't feel rehab by
The challenge has been where to put them in terms of rehabilitation. It is very expensive housing these guys, some of whom don't even have where they live.
We are preparing a cabinet policy document where I want to go to cabinet to seek the cabinet approval so that we will now make it mandatory that nobody will be able to join the public service unless you go through drug tests.
And that was Nana Boachi Adams' report. Well, joining us on Zoom is the chairman of the Health Committee of Parliament, Mark Kurt Nawani. Grateful for your time, sir. Well, it's no news that the youth in Ghana are abusing drugs, but what I want to understand now is how concerning this is to the Health Committee of Parliament and what steps they're taking in this direction. Mr. Nawani, reposition yourself and speak to us. Unfortunately, we've lost Dr. Nawani. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joe 99.7 FM. And the Environmental Protection Authority says scientists have found plastic particles in the placenta of some women, raising concern over the continued use of harmful plastic products in Ghana. On Loud and Green X Spaces, Director of Human Settlement at the EPA, Hope Smith Lomotis, said the decision to ban styrofoam, also known as polythene packaging, is part of a broader plan to address the health and environmental effects of single-use plastics. He said some plastics can remain in the environment for hundreds of years, eventually entering water bodies, the food chain, and affecting human health.
We have conducted a number of researches. We have even discovered plastic in some women's placenta, which is becoming alarming. And we have gotten to a decision point to take out styrofoam or polystyrene, or what you popularly call takeaway, but styrofoam or polystyrene in general, for now, as a roadmap leading to taking out other single-use plastics after this 1st January 2027. We have reached the point because when we look at it critically, the health implications where hot food are poured in some of these containers, exposing people to the chemicals, and oily food also are poured into them. Some of them get finally into our water bodies because they don't decompose easily. They take years. Some can even stay for about 500 years to decompose because they are not biodegradable. Some aquatic animals like the fishes also consume some of this, and they remain in their system, come back to us in the food chain.
Now, away from that, this afternoon, the Accra High Court was packed with high-ranking officials of the NPP as its Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Nchiboisiako, also known as Chairman Wontumi, appeared before the court for proceedings in his alleged 30 million Exim Bank fraud case. Now, today's appearance comes exactly a week after he was sentenced to 20 years imprisonment in a separate illegal mining case involving the Samraboy concession. Earlier, the Attorney General's office indicated that it had rejected Mr. Wontumi's proposal for a plea bargain in the case. Let's now go live to the Accra High Court and speak to Legal Affairs correspondent Fatal Bayaga for the latest. So, Fatal, before we get into the substance of today's proceedings, do we know why Mr. Wontumi's lead counsel Andy Appiah-Kubi was absent from court.
Maame, so basically, Atachia was on his feet in general jurisdiction too. He said that Atachia had, Andy Appiah-Kubi had drawn his legal service Wontumi and then his company Wontumi Farms. He didn't really tell us what exactly to this step by Andy Appiah-Kubi. Of the councils in this particular case explained that it is the party that has asked them to take over this case from Andy Appiah-Kubi. So basically, that is what we've picked up so far as far as this particular case is concerned, and then the absence of Andy Appiah-Kubi in court is concerned.
Right. Let's get into the case. Well, we heard that the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Ramsay, disclosed that the AG had rejected Mr. Wontumi's plea bargain proposal. Has there been any change in that position?
Maame, so basically, in the courtroom, the Deputy Attorney General still told the court that they have not reached any agreement with the previous counsel and the Appiah-Kubi. But then he said that since there's a new counsel taking over, and also because of the conviction of Wontumi in the Samara Boy concession case, it disrupted the conversations and all of that, and asked that they should be given more time to be able to talks with the new council. In fact, and Atachia then on his feet, that they should come back after the legal vacation sometime in October. So when he made that argument, Ramsay again came and said that no, the judge should adjourn it to maybe after 15 days or 30 days so that they'll return and then update the court on the progress of the case. So the judge eventually settled on 27th August where the part would be back in court to update the court on the talks.
And just before you go, you said some senior NPP officials were present. Who are they?
Maame, so the party's former chairman was in court, former majority leader, Osei Chairman Sabonsu, was in court, former information minister Kojo Opon-Nkrumah was also in court, the director of communications for the MPP was also in court, among other bigwigs of the opposition New Patriotic Party. When they got to the talk to the media, but the lawyer, one of the lawyers, Nana Bafo, basically said that the court has adjourned the case to the 27th of August, where they'll be coming back to court and then to update the court on the progress of this particular negotiation.
Right, that's Fatah Bayaga, legal affairs correspondent. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll take a break. While we return, is the National Science and Maths Quiz Regional Qualifiers, and this afternoon Senior High School pulls off a stunning upset in Contest 6 of the Central Regional Qualifiers, beating Winneba Senior High School to secure only their second ever appearance at the championship.
Congratulations, Senior High. That was a massive win. We look forward to seeing you at the national. Okay, Winneba, tonight go and join Alpha Hour. Okay, maybe you'll be called to come to the national.
And in our live story today, we'll tell you about Ghana's favorites as Ghanaians view Canada, China, and the UK most favorably among global powers. Plus, we'll also tell you about the passing of Ghana's tallest man after battling gigantism.
Something exciting is stirring at the Joy News Habitat Fair.
When I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth with Kale Charcoal toothpaste. This gives me confidence all day.
Anytime you meet Amma, don't be surprised I smile showing my beautiful white teeth because I don't have cavity thanks to Kale Charcoal toothpaste for its natural charcoal properties. In fact, we are like twins. I can't go without my Kale Charcoal toothpaste.
That be why I dey use Kale Charcoal toothpaste morning and night when I dey go bed safe. It dey make my teeth white where it dey comot every scent from my mouth inside. My confidence level they go up, so I dey show my 32 teeth all.
Introducing the Kale Charcoal toothpaste, formulated with activated bamboo charcoal powder, ensures whiter teeth and removes bad breath. The strong natural property of the activated bamboo charcoal removes bacteria, absorbs surface stains on our teeth caused by coffee, wines, and tobacco. Welcome, Kale Charcoal toothpaste. Kale Charcoal toothpaste, Sankofa Yenchi.
Kale, happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved. Upgrade your print game with Konica Minolta, proudly powered by SkySat Technologies. From all-in-one machines that print, scan, and copy to professional systems and heavy-duty production machines, we deliver unmatched performance. Right now, SkySat has an unbeatable offer. 1 entire year of free servicing on all Konica Minolta machines. That's 12 months of expert maintenance for new and existing customers. Visit our new VIP Print Center at Pegasus Place, Airport Residential Area for a live demonstration. Call us on 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. Again, it's 050-164-5180 or 0302-798-829. SkySat Technologies, performance that delivers every time.
Welcome to White Restaurant and Garden right here in Accra. We are redefining fusion. Imagine the elegance of classic French-Italian mastery, beautifully balanced with the vibrant warmth of African herbs and spices. Every plate is a masterpiece and every moment is an experience. Pair your evening with our masterfully crafted cocktails and let the world fade away with each sip. Book your table today using the code WHITE@3 and your first round of signature cocktails is entirely our gift to you. Experience dining done beautifully. Call 050-982-3420 to reserve your evening. White Restaurant and Garden. Experience dining done beautifully.
Welcome back to the Midday News. Now, Senior High School has pulled off a stunning qualification feat at the Central Regional Qualifiers, overcoming a spirited challenge from Winneba Senior High School, Fetiman Senior High School, and Asin Manso Senior High School to secure the place at the 2026 National Science and Math Quiz Championship. The school delivered a composed performance throughout Contest 6, getting the upper hand by capitalizing on bonus opportunities in the opening round before taking control of the speed race with quick and accurate responses.
I feel excited, honestly speaking, because from Form 1 to Form 3, it hasn't been easy.
You were on the stage. Was it something you expected?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, but I would say, irrespective of the training and everything, it's gold. Gold makes a difference.
I'm very, very happy for what had happened because it's something excellent. We never knew that. We knew we will qualify, but not to this extent. We know by the grace of God and hard working, we have produced a good result. We will let people know that we are from senior high school, grades and sec.
And those are some of the contestants interacting with my colleague Ramat Bashiru. Let's take you to the Ashanti region where Sawanyako Girls Senior High School, Edu Jemfi Senior High School, and Wesley High School, Bekwai, are hoping to return to the national stage after reaching the 1-8 stage in previous editions. And my colleague Michelle Latte joins me with updates from there. We'll also reach out to Ramat Bashiru in the central region. Let's start with you, Michelle. Tell us briefly, what's the stage now?
So currently, Maame, in the Ashanti region, they've completed the very first contest where Sewanyako girls secured 49 points, giving them a qualification into the national stage. And for Wesley High School, they came in with 48 points. And fortunately for them, despite the fact that they didn't top or qualify immediately from here, they are leaving with a 400 Ghana cedis cash prize from the Gore Riddle Bonanza for answering 3 riddles correctly. So that's what's currently happening. The next contest that is happening is going to feature T.I. Amas right here from KNUST Auditorium. Amen.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Ramat is in the central region. Ramat, bring us to speed. What's happening there?
Maame, coming up will be a contest, and this contest all eyes will be on Wesley Girls Senior High School as they begin their quest for a place at this year's championship again. They lost their seed last year to at the 1-8 stage, and so they are battling for the national qualification. And this contest will feature Wesley Girls, Nyamekye SHS, and Fetterman SHS.
All right, thank you, Ramat Bashiru, also in the Central Region. Well, back to the studio. Michael Ashali is with me. Michael, the world's tallest man dies of gigantism, and I mean the tallest man in the world, but lives in Ghana, right?
Well, he's not the tallest man in the world. He's the tallest man for Ghana.
In Ghana, okay.
Yes, in Ghana.
Yes.
So, Maame, what we know that he's around 33 years of age, and just about 2 weeks ago, his condition became public notice, and we know that business mogul Ibrahim Ahmad actually offered to cater for his medical expenses. But unfortunately, this is the news that we are met to today, that we will not be living beyond today. So he was born, a little we know is that he was born sometime 33 years ago, and he has been living with a medical condition known as gigantism, and that is one of the conditions where you have a lot of growth hormone in you. So he's been growing so I don't use the word abnormally, he's been growing rapidly, and taller than the average person of his age, and unfortunately the medical conditions associated with it has led to his untimely death today, and that's what we are hearing, Maame.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Thank you so much, Michael, for that update. Well, and just before we head out, a new national poll by Global Info Analytics has taken the pulse of how Ghanaians feel about some of the world's biggest players, and the USA isn't topping the list. According to the survey, Canada tops the chart as the most favorably viewed global power among Ghanaian voters, with a net favorability rating of 38 points. China follows closely behind at 34 points, with the United Kingdom just 1 point behind at 33. And that's all we have for you this afternoon on the Midday News. I am Nyamekye Thompson. Up next,